You have a lawsuit that you are filing directed at a member of this administration named Bill Pulte, who runs the FHFA, which is the sort of Federal Housing Finance Association. He has been a very key figure in a lot of the prosecutions we've seen, including Tish James, whose prosecution was thrown out by a federal district judge this week. Why have you filed this lawsuit against Mr. Pulte? What is your contention that he has done wrong?
Because enough is enough. It's nonsense that he went after Tish James. Thank goodness that got thrown out. It was nonsense when he went after Adam Schiff. It was nonsense when he went after Lisa Cook. It's nonsense in the manner that he's going after me, and I don't want to see anyone else have to go through this. You know, taxpayer dollars are being used for these weaponized investigations led by Pulte and the administration. So I've decided that the side of the ball that I'd rather be on, rather than on my heels on defense, is on offense. And if this does something to hold them to account, and maybe next week, rather than hearing someone's under investigation, we'll start to learn more, because we're bringing transparency and accountability to Mr. Pulte and the administration. That would be much better of an outcome.
I want to read from the lawsuit, because the accusation here is the abuse of the power he has to look into people's records, basically their mortgage records. And there's been some real question in terms of the public reporting about, like, how is it the case that that this information has gotten out? What has been his role in it? Your lawsuit says the following: Pulte has abused his position by scouring databases at Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac, two government-sponsored enterprises, for the private mortgage records of several prominent Democrats. He then used those records to concoct fanciful allegations of mortgage fraud, which he referred to the Department of Justice for prosecution. Do you feel confident you can win this case and you can demonstrate in a court of law that he abused his power?
Yes, and we know already that he's referred me and the others to the Department of Justice. As I said, that's either going to be dismissed like Tish James or quickly acquitted at jury trial. But there's no other way to get, the private mortgages of Americans. And that's what he's doing, is he's just acting, as a political operator on behalf of Donald Trump and rummaging through the mortgages of the president's political enemies, and incidentally timed right around when there was speculation in the press that I was about to announce a bid for governor of California. And so it does seem highly suspicious, the timing of him making this referral.
You are running for governor, along with a lot of other folks who are getting into that very crowded race to succeed Gavin Newsom. You're now, of course, a member of Congress. I want to ask you about what we were talking about in the previous block about this special election in Tennessee. Is there a difference in the morale on your side of the aisle now, after what happened in those elections on the first Tuesday of this November, looking down at the Tennessee 7, which should be a cakewalk for Republicans and looks to be competitive, and seeing all the reporting about how low morale is on the Republican side, where people are retiring? Is there a kind of equal and opposite effect on your side?
Yeah, I think in politics, just like sports, momentum begets momentum, and confidence begets confidence. And we're writing a comeback story with the wins from New Jersey, Virginia, all the way out to California, even the statewide Pennsylvania state Supreme Court race that we swept. And so that's what winning looks like. And as you said in the earlier segment, it also demoralizes the other side, and it provokes retirements on the other side, and it makes more competitive seats easier for us to win. So we are certainly going to outperform in the Nashville area. But what we have to do is to telegraph what being in the majority looks like. Of course, it's going to be about bringing down costs, but it's not just the costs that you can measure, like gas, groceries, and buying a home. It's what's immeasurable, like the rights that are being taken away, the immigrants being chased through the fields where they work, the women who can't make decisions about their own bodies. That is what the true cost is of this presidency, and a lack of check by the Congress. And that's where this excitement is coming from.
When you think about this next year in this Congress, one of the things I can't quite figure out is, like, what exactly they're going to do. Johnson had him on that break because I think he wanted to stop the Epstein discharge petition. But also, Trump said this, and it's been sticking with me. A few months ago, he said, I told him, put everything in this one bill so we don't need Congress anymore. Usually it's kind of the opposite. Usually you think, wow, we've got a trifecta. We've got the White House. We've got both houses. The clock's ticking. There's only so much time to get stuff done. They seem to kind of be like over legislating.
Yeah, they have no interest in doing their job of checking, a president who sends $40 billion to Argentina, who is paying himself $230 million for a lawsuit that he's brought against himself, who is renovating the White House to the tune of a couple $100 million. God knows where that money is coming from. And Americans are just saying, hey, we were promised lower costs on day one. It's day 300. You're 0 for 300. Why don't you do something to make it easier to buy a home? Like, why can't we be a country where you can take your first job, have your first kid, and buy your first home in the same decade? It would be nice if they worked on that. But there is no Article 1 Congress right now. They are essentially giving their authority over to the president. But they've got less than a year until a majority on the Democratic side takes shape.